YouTuberizers, good morning. A short talk in the trailer with the old guy. It's a Sunday, I believe. Yeah, it's a Sunday morning. And about 6:30, 6:40, something like that. Look at this. I'm still wearing a sweater in July. So if I go to sleep, well, I got a little cooler, but it doesn't work that great. And I'm just surprised, there's always about a 30-degree or more swing here where I live in southern New Mexico. And between the high of the day and the low of the day, pretty much year round, maybe 30 degrees. That's just a ballpark figure. But I actually wake up and I'm chilly. Let's start a fire. Start a fire. I guess we're going to burn the furniture. I don't have a fireplace. Hang around the range. And just watching a few videos this morning, getting ready to hit the road. And I don't like being gloomy. But a lot of people have accused me of being a pessimist in the past, which of course I reject. I simply conclude that they're an insane episode on their happy brain there somewhere, and they'll come back to Earth at some point, we hope. But what they call pessimism, I call realism. And I'm looking at this 4th of July that's coming up. I'm already hearing reports. I can't put my finger on it. Something doesn't feel right about this 4th. It's supposed to be a patriotic celebration of, a group of British citizens who threw off the shackles of the king and said, to blazes with you, we'll govern ourselves. And they set up their own little compact, their own little constitution, blah, blah, blah. And there was a war, then another war in 1812. Anyway, we're supposed to be celebrating our freedom. But our freedom is dying. In fact, I honestly think it's dead. Here's an example. Indiana Jones, the old guy, I guess it's Ford. He's going to reprise his role as Indiana Jones, and oh boy, they're already selling advance tickets. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I think that's going to release like probably yesterday or somewhere in here. There's another movie booting up on the 4th that's already sold, I don't know, millions of dollars of tickets, advance tickets. Sight unseen, because it's Jim Caviezel. I want to say his name right if I can. Caviezel. As far as I can understand, Caviezel's a good man. And this is an important movie about a bunch of deeply corrupt perverts in high places. Remember Jeff Epstein? Remember that name? The guy who ostensibly offed himself? Sure did. Nobody believes that garbage. And the very same rodents. Actually, I don't want to call the people who went to that island rodents, because that's an insult to every good and honest sewer rat in the world. No sewer rat would stoop to that. Taking advantage of little children. Disgusting. Well, anyway, it turns out there's like a multi-billion, that's with a B. We'll call it an industry. What are you making? You don't want to know. In not only the United States, but around the world, and children on the top are the thing. It seems to me that the left has this hate affair with children. Jesus says, hey, don't you stop those little kids. They want to come over here, they're going to sit on my lap, and I'm going to scruff their head and give them a big kiss and say, you be a good boy, you be a good girl, and you live with your mom and dad and do what they say. What? I don't know what Jesus did, but he laid his hands on them and blessed the children. That's how Jesus treats children. These people want to make them into sex objects or something. They're revolting. These people need to die. But I mean not by popular uprising. I don't mean by a riot. I don't mean by a vigilante group. I mean in a court of law, found guilty and sentenced to death, preferably a violent one. Preferably public. I think public hangings sounds just great. For the people who are doing this, yes. And I had this idea today, and I thought, now this is interesting. The so-called, like that battle axe, that insane old hag out of California, the multi-millionaire who ostensibly was a public servant for about 900 years. I mean, this old battle axe, that psycho Nancy, she's older than dirt. She's been doing this so-called job since, I don't know, Grover Cleveland was a teenager or something. And she just got to go. She's just horrible. But anyway, why are we backing the war effort? We call it war effort. No, you mean the profitable war enterprise, the multi-billion-dollar sales of brand new weapons coming off from where? From the US of A. That's what we're all about. That ain't no 4th of July thing, man. And why are we backing to defend democracy? I just said the magic word. Watch, I'll say it again. Democracy. We weren't supposed to be backing democracies. We were supposed to be backing republics with democratic rule. Different animal. You back raw democracy, that's what's called mob rule. That's what's happening in France right now. The inventors of the democracy, France, in the Great Terror, the original episode, the outbreak, they're going there again. France is on fire. Thousands of people in the streets. Fires, the military being deployed against their own citizens. Think about it, folks. That's what democracy means today. And these traitors at the WEF and that miserable, I absolutely despise. You know who? Starts with the word fraud, and then gets a little Italian. Chi, fraud, chi. That boy needs to die. He's an enemy to the human race. Well, anyway, how many people did his little experiment knock off? We don't know, but at least 300,000 Americans died because of his little gambit with the bug. Remember the bug that got developed here in North Carolina, and then it wasn't even legal to do the work here. We knew this in 2020. The work wasn't legal to do here. He farmed it out to Wuhan, paid them guys to do the work. He was warned in a massive letter by scientists, responsible scientists around the world, before he did that stupid thing: don't pursue gain-of-function research. They've been working on this virus package since the 1960s, and this so-called warp speed thing that emerged. Well, no warp speed. They've been working on that thing for 40 years and more. Doesn't work any better than it did then either. During the SARS thing in the, I think that was the 90s. Actually, I kind of got lost with SARS 1, 2, all the other. They were working on a so-called vac thing, like a vacuum. And the vacuum, you know what it did? It vacuumed up cats. If you really want to get rid of stray cats, by golly, this is the stuff. It'll kill them deader than a stick. They just kind of dressed it up, put a new little umbrella in its hand and make it look a little bit cute. And they paraded it out as if it was a major breakthrough, a scientific breakthrough. Follow the science. The science people who can't seem to figure out that a baby is a baby. They can't seem to figure out that a cucumber and a human embryo are somewhat different. And murderers, liars, sexual perverts. This is the aroma from hell. This is how you can tell we're in the middle of right now there's a massive unleashing of dark powers, that's with a plural, around the world. And it all has the same rotten sewage stench. The armpit of the nobody downstairs. That somebody who used to think he was going to be a real somebody, but he turned out to not even have a name anymore. He's just called the enemy. He has an aroma just like Christ has an aroma. Upon Christ is the aroma of life and of joy and of meaning and significance and love and a place that you actually belong. He cares for you. Well, the nobody, he does all kinds of garbage, and he smells like, ugh. I'm a plumber. I'm familiar with his perfume. And absolutely disgusting around the world. This is not a good fourth in my mind. Even if the US of A does go on for another couple of years, as we sort of thought, I honestly don't believe there's going to be an election in 24, because there's no way that the crooked Fourth Reichers, who are the little flunkies and yes men to that psychotic in Brussels, I think. His dad was a high-ranking Nazi. I mean, a very highly respected Nazi within Nazidom. This is the guy that they're taking their cues from. Very impressive. Well, these elders, now some of these guys are pushing 100 and crap. It's like, give it up, Dad. You've already ruined the world enough. Go off and do something like fish or something, like a regular old guy. And these guys just can't give it up. The little fraud, he's over 90. Why is he still on government payroll? There's no mandatory retirement for civil servants, really? Well, let's start one with him, preferably with, shall we say, vigor. But the point is, I just had a passing thought, and this is an old thought of mine, and I thought, well, things are getting so weird, so ugly. I mean, these are the same people, remember, who are all in favor of on-demand abortion. It's the right. It's the only thing that we could do to care for the mother. What? What do you mean the only thing? And so they treat pregnancy as if it was a disease that you have to be cured of. Follow the science. That's how good they are at science. And I thought, well, what about, babies who are born and they're actually out of the womb now? Infanticide. The same people are on that page too. At least they're consistent. Well, I just thought, let's have further consistency. Let's build upon that armpit system of the nobody that smells like, oh, I don't know. You know when you go out to the little outhouse at the fair and nobody's been in there with the big vacuum cleaner in about 4 months, and the flies and the ooh and the and the you're killing me with this. That's what they're building. And I thought, well, let's just improve on their system, shall we? They allow for, ex post facto, I guess you'd call it. A baby's born, a healthy baby or a girl or a boy. They still think that they should have the right to strangle that child because it's an inconvenient birth to my cosmopolitan style. And by the way, I don't know how that baby happened in the first place. I just sat down on a toilet seat and ended up with this thing. Follow the science. We don't know where babies come from. We don't know how this could happen, and certainly you're not going to hold me responsible for my actions. That's the great ones among us. And so they sell this crap. So I thought, well, let's just extend the policy. Your car warranty is about to run out. You should extend right now. So let's keep extending the policy. What about 10-year-olds? What if you decided at 10 that it's an inconvenient child? And what if it's 25 or 30, and this child now has not turned out the way we had thought, and it's an inconvenient child. And let's just extend this death cult and keep going until we get to Klaus and Tony and Nancy. Extremely late, on-demand infanticide. It's just that they're old, gnarly, scraggly infants. It's a thought. Well, I'm going to go up to Albuquerque, so I might do a film or two up there. I mean, a short talk up there somewhere. But it's just this fourth is just sending me I don't know exactly what it is. It's kind of coming in back here. It's kind of like keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. If you're going to drink, don't drink to excess, and don't drive either. There's something happening here, and it's staged. It's not an accident. Something's coming for this 4th in this country, and it's going to change this. This maybe last 4th was the last real 4th we ever had. I don't know. I don't want to sound gloomy. Don't want to sound pessimistic. Just sounding realistic. I don't like the feel of it. And it's nothing anyone said. It's nothing, I can't put my finger on it. But it's there. And so my grandma supposedly had what they call second sight. But nobody liked that. They treated her with, oh, stay away. Maybe some of grandma's gift came through today. I don't know. I don't put a whole lot of stock in that stuff. But I think people, I know I've been definitely warned in the past before something happens. So you pay attention, I'll pay attention. Hey, how about we follow the law as laid down by the living God? You can't be wrong by following his law. So he says, honor your parents. Let's make that part of the celebration. He says, thou shalt not commit adultery. Honor marriage and treasure children, and consider what a great gift the home is for an environment for everybody, mom, dad, kids, and even if you got grandpa, cousins, everybody, come on in. The home is the foundation stone of order, and that's what they're trying to destroy. That's what these sociopaths, these disgusting, hopefully extreme late term, extremely late term, what would you call this? This old man didn't turn out to be the kind of man we wanted. And, it's like, how far are you going to carry this? And I just want to say, violence is not the answer. The answer, as Martin Luther King says, is love. But I mean, love as Jesus Christ admonishes or urges us to, such that, what is love? I mean, what is it? What is love? Hey, let's start a song. But what I mean is I want the best for you, the thing that will be the strongest plank in your life that I could possibly contribute. Ain't going to be much. But in other words, I want you to thrive. I want you to root down. I want you to grow and flourish and be at rest and be confident and be looking forward to the future. I want, you know what I mean? I love you is the idea. Well, I want you to flourish. I want you to benefit. But they've turned it into basically this asinine kind of emotion head trip or something. It becomes just another hit, just another drug hit to these people. And that's what's gone on exactly with this child prostitution thing. These people are heinous. They're devilish. And this has got to come to an end. But it ain't going to come to an end. Most people don't even know it exists. And if they do, here's what they do. I don't see it. I don't see it. That's what they do. But the children, who speaks for them? Do you? I hope to. So I'll probably see the movie, but I'm not going to see it in the first week or two, to be honest with you. I just hate being in those crowded theaters. Ugh. You, me, and 93 billion other people sitting next to each other. Maybe I'll go to a matinee where they only got 20 or 30 people in there. I don't like crowds. But the thing is that I was thinking about this for today as we go along, and as we think about what was once upon a time a great nation. Oh, by the way, I wanted to do an ad. Don't let this happen to you. I went down to the store the other day, and Murphy's they got the best price in town for smokes. So I thought, this is even cheaper, and it's still Marlboro? Are you kidding? Well, this is something called Gold, and I just wanted to show you one of these things. I don't know if you're going to pick this up or not. That right there, you see that little, what is that shape? I don't know. It's a vaguely geometric thing. Not a good focus either. As soon as I took that out of the package yesterday, I know what these are. There's another brand called Eagle, and I don't know, there's probably another brand. Just call them cheapy, lowball cigarettes. Way cheap. Cheapest ones we got in here. Guess why? It's crap tobacco, and even the paper. If you look at the paper, you know what that stuff looks like? Looks like notebook paper. Come on, you guys. And I mean, this is a cheap cigarette. This was made in the Eagle factory, and then they put it in a Marlboro box. I don't know if they made them at Eagle or not, but these are grade Z cigarettes. So they taste like not so very good. Ugh. You want to have a gnarly cigarette sometime, go back and get you a pack of Marlboro, what are those things called? Ultralights or something? Oh, atrocious. Who knows what's in that crap? It leaves this like film in your mouth. You're just like, I believe I just had a toxic substance. Yeah, it was that thing in your mouth. So this is not quite as bad, but that'll be the last time I ever buy Marlboro Gold. Let me tell you that. Ugh. But as we're getting close to these big changes in our lives, I think that the main thing is that we're going to have to work against is fear. A lot of people are afraid. Don't you be afraid. Don't you be afraid. You got a lion at your side. And this lion, he ain't afeard of nothing. In fact, it's the other way around. You know what? The darklings out there, the personal Negroes to the nobody, like Schwab and Tony and Nancy and Joe. Oh, by the way, I do this so many times in my videos. I was replaying one of my videos just to see, the other day, do I even agree with this stuff? Wouldn't it be nice if I did? And I do this so many times. So anyway, I was going to tell you the other day why I call the squatter at 1600 Pennsylvania the poodle. So we have to kind of go back just real briefly. I'm not going to wear you out with this, but when his old boss, Mr. Who knows what his real name is, Mr. Who knows which country he was born in, and who knows whether he's married to a woman. Remember, Mr. Dynamic? I thought at the time, this guy's got to be the absolute worst president we've ever had. Actually, worse than Lyndon Johnson. Worse than Jimmy Carter. Worse than Franklin Roosevelt. Worse than Woodrow Wilson. Is it even possible? I mean, you'd think by then the guy just fall apart, And the poodle's actually worse than his old boss. Well, what I used to call that guy was, I called him the Hat Rack Orama. Hat Rack Orama. Because essentially it's like, well, today I'm wearing my good cop hat. Today I'm wearing my cool street cred hat. Today I'm wearing my little professor hat. Today I'm wearing my Nobel Award winning hat. Today I'm wearing my cool dude with a little bit of in my swagger here. I got a swagger. Guy was an absolute fraud. And disgusting traitor as well. Well, the poodle is worse. So I came up with it. I mean, it's all very scientific. I mean, let's just deal with follow the science. And so I looked it up. I mean, that's what the internet's for, right? And I typed up, what is the favorite lap animal among the Chinese? Because, I mean, the Chinese have been keeping pets forever. I mean, that's an old civilization. Surely they've decided by now, well, I guess we could have a pet every once in a while. They're not stupid. And so I thought, well, anyway, among small dogs, at least the one study I looked at, and it was very scientific, was poodles. The little tiny micro poodles or whatever they're called, those little squirter guys that just go everywhere, blah, 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 little crazy man dogs. But a lot of people like those little poodles. I'm not particularly fond of them, but they're all right. But I thought among the Chinese, one of the favorite lap dogs who sits up on your lap is poodles. So I figured, well, Xi Jinping. I mean, he's in charge of that whole outfit over there. He's like the top communist. He's the essentially the inheritor to Mao. We'll just say he has, let's say, a few privileges over there. Well, I thought, well, what kind of lap dog would he like? I bet you he'd like a poodle. However, follow the science. So in other words, I did bring that up the other day, and then I'll leave you hanging in midair, change subjects, and forgot entirely later to talk about it at all. So I thought I better at least cover that today. And anyhow, the the truth is that the nobody downstairs who smells like you know what, that's his aroma. But when it emerges out of the pit, it emerges as crime, it emerges as deception, it emerges as sexual deviation, perversion, it emerges as extortion, all kinds of political shenanigans, power grasps. That's what that ex-angel is all about. Not really even an angel anymore. Now he can dress up like one if he needs to, according to the scripture. But he ain't got it up here no more. He's not even really a person anymore. It's just a thing, an animal, a wreck. And so call all of his personal slaves as well from down there that are now emerging. And the human aspect where they bond and link with humans, the perfume of the nobody is getting rather whiffy. And time to bring in the exterminator. That's my opinion. You guys have a good day. And remember, this is a Sunday. Now, I'm going to violate my own rule. I'm going to head up onto Albuquerque today, and I'm just going to skip church and make a nice drive of it. There's a nice little restaurant in Socorro. You know, you like bacon and eggs and toast? Well, this is the place to be. And so I'm going to go do something like that on a couple hours from now to eat. But as the world unravels, you know what happens more and more? More people are coming to the conclusion there really is only one righteous, true leader, one good man. And we know his name, Yeshua, the true son, the inheritor, the king. The good news is the kingdom has come. How so? The king arrived. And he ain't backing up, and he ain't making no excuses, and he's rolling over the opposition, and ultimately he will shatter them beyond repair. They will be dispensed with violence and thrown down. The church used to know this. She can't seem to remember no more. She makes the Bible into kind of an idol, but she won't read it no more. And then she tries to act like all nice, all nice. I'm so inoffensive, so very inoffensive. There's an offense to saying evil ends with violence at the hand of living God. Judgment will come, trust me, and there will be no survivors. Except those hiding under the blood, those found covered by Jesus and his wondrous love. When the judgment hits, this whole bad boy's going down. And not one of us, certainly not me, I'm not righteous enough to stand before the judge on my own, but that was never the problem. You're not going to stand before the judge on your own. I have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ the righteous, who pleads his blood on behalf of wretched sinners. That's where I come in. I qualify. I'm good enough. How so? Because I feel in the category called wretched sinner. I held up my end of the deal. And you need to hold it up too. Just come on out, tell the truth. Of course I ain't good enough. What do you mean good enough? None of us are good enough except one. Across the world, across the age, through every iteration of mankind, one man emerged victorious. And with him, a host of captives. And that's where you come in. But it's a good thing. God be blessed and God be thanked for sending the Savior down here. And we do bless his name. You know, there's a beautiful biblical thing I just want to finish up right here today. In Abraham's day, the great father said to him at some point, he who blesses you shall be blessed. He who curses you shall be cursed. But then that blessing of Abraham moves on to Messiah Jesus. We bless the name Jesus of Christ. We bless the name Jesus of Nazareth and thank God for him and thank God that he has come to make all of the difference down here single-handedly. He rolled up his sleeve and there was not a man to be found to help him. He's the wonder. He's the marvel. He's the center of it all. And so when we're worried about, Klaus and all these other these devilish sociopaths selling their lies and murder and filth, they have no hope. That's a dead end road, Bubba. Short-term dead end, too. Just a few years and done. Remember the old Nazi regime, the bad old days? Guess what? It was only about 4 years of that horror, 3.5, more or less. 3.5 years. That's interesting. These Johnny-come-lately upstart wannabe kingpins of the universe, short shelf life. The real guy with real shelf life, he's coming knocking to you today in the form of your little brother or that lady you meet at the grocery, or he's coming to you in another way through maybe a homeless person, where you are able to interact with humankind, and the advocate of love himself, he comes into our hearts and he helps us love, because I ain't got no love in here for Klaus and company, none. But I do love them. I do love Klaus, Tony, and Nancy, and I ask the living God, please, please, please bring them back from the brink. They have no hope. I don't want to see them go to that other place. But as of now, there is no other option. There's no other option for Nancy or, the poodle, or really anyone. Not anyone. There isn't no saint. There is no holy man or holy woman who dodges judgment on their own recognizance. Only hope, the hope of mankind. He comes and he dwells with us and he teaches us, and he teaches you to say, give thanks. I do. I give thanks to God for everything, even the bad times, even the trouble, because again and again he's proven right, and he's proven right in so many wonderful ways. So you go prove him today. You go prove, bet you God that if you're so all gung ho on love, I bet you won't show me someone to love today. Oh yeah, you will. Multiple times. And that's where you come in. You get to step up to bat and you get to talk to people and you get to say, you know what? I feel you. I know what this world's about too. And I'm joining with you. I ain't giving up neither. I'm going to keep on praying for them wretched, and they smell exactly like the armpit of the nobody. I mean, the whiff. He'll drive that whiff away and he'll make them smell new and clean again, just like he is. And good can come out of the worst. You be patient, you be strong, and you insist that your so-called leaders walk according to law, the law of the Lord, because he will not be mocked. He simply will not be mocked. You lose if you try that route. Don't go there. The winning route is he has come to find you. And guess what? He did. You guys have a good day.